situation. Watching my time, sir. So why this may sound good in theory, breaking out of norms require a great deal of mental strength and the discipline to make 4 commitments to yourself. You wake up and say, don't forget what I said earlier, that if you need to make it, you need to think differently from 99% of the people in the world. You are going on your own. There are times when you get there, you begin to look at your back. Nobody, they follow me. You begin to doubt your own. It is not easy. But the 4 things that will guide you are these. Take responsibility for where you are. If you are here now, whether you are successful or you are not, don't blame anybody. Failures blame every other people, or every failure blames every other person except himself. Take responsibility that the reason you are where you are is you. If it's a failed business, a bad relationship, take responsibility. And the question is, recognize the pattern that got you there. What happened? How did I get here? How did I get to where I am? Then, of course, you now have what? Recommit to the idea of being challenged. Have a new mindset. Okay, what happened? Because when you pass a road all the time, there are areas that are bad and there are areas that are good. How do I navigate the areas that are bad? And of course, you now come to the idea that you need to get up and fashion out a new destination. If I have done this and it did not work, that does not make you a failure. I think it's Lincoln or one other American president who contested severally and failed, even to enter the Senate, and eventually became a president. Thank you. Why did he still continue? Then we look at relevance. Relevance is the noun form of the adjective relevant, which means important to the matter at hand. You see, artists and politicians are afraid of not being relevant because the moment they are irrelevant, they believe that they would have lost their job. Relevance might be called, if you are not relevant, or if you have no relevance, you will be called somebody who is irrelevant. May we not be relevant in Jesus' name. My final word, like I said a while ago, trying to be rich. It's usually difficult to break through, but the moment you have broken through, second, the process will continue because you have laid the foundation. But the person you must become, very important. That is why you find that some people, you see it, even it happens in town. He get money before. So what happened? Because if you are a rich man, it's an opportunity. Rich people don't make money every day. The opportunity has come, they've made money, it becomes a foundation, they plant it. So you cannot eat your seedlings, your yam seedlings. If you eat your yam seedling, what are you going to plant? So you plant the yam and make sure that after it germinates, that is what you eat. So you have to become completely a different person. You have to develop character beyond 99% of the people in the world. I read some people's books when I was putting this together. And in my area, it's called references. So all this idea, I borrow some from areas. So, and it means that any error I would have made, please exempt it. Thank you.
What do we say to Dr. Akamioko, everybody? Thank you so much, sir. I don't want to keep you waiting for too long. So very speedily, I want to say that he actually could not really, he couldn't really treat what he has in his prepared document as much as possible. So for those of us who have put down our email address, we are going to, the church is doing us a favor. We are going to have the slides being sent to our email address so that we can go through it and, digest as much as possible. I think that deserves an applause now. Come on. Yeah. So, Doctor touched on several things. He touched on relationship, touched on personal development, business. I mean, he even hit some nails in marriages. In marriage. And while he was speaking about marriage, something just quickly came to mind. A joke really that I heard about a man who told his daughter never to marry from the east. He said, I will take anybody from anywhere, even outside the country, but never from the east. And unfortunately, when it was time for the lady to get married, the first suitor that approached the lady was from somewhere close to the east. And the man specifically said he never wanted to hear anything BC. And by the time the lady took the man home, sir, the father, greeted the man. How are you? How do you do? What do you do? Where are you from? Asked several questions. And when it was right about the time when the man was going to answer, where was he from? He said he's from somewhere close to the man's place. And the man asked him his home. Asked him his name. He said his name is BC. The man said BC. He said he was very happy for the fact that he heard BC, which means the suitor or the husband-to-be must be from the west. He said, so, but I know about Sebra BC. I know about Ade BC. I know about Ola BC. Which one is your own? Unfortunately, the man told, the husband-to-be told the father and said his name was Undu BC. Which means that the man was actually from the east, the same place where he told the daughter not to get married from. That was just on a lighter note. I took something that Dr. Akamioko said from the beginning. He said anybody who asks questions will always get to the destination faster. Did we remember that? So it's a good time for us to ask questions. If you have any question, you have a question, beautiful. Anybody, let's just take like 1, 2, or 3 so that we can quickly move to the next session. Anybody? I have a question too, sir. You do, sir. So we have 3 people already. Any other person? Usually people don't say they have questions until someone asks, someone asks a question that seems to be controversial. My sister, please move forward. And in case you don't want to ask your question, making use of the microphone, you can please put down your question in a sheet of paper. I'll take it and then read so doctor can treat it.
Praise the Lord. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I must say, I am a secret look up to this man standing here, because sometimes he comes to my workplace and whenever I look, I hear from him. I get encouraged as a woman. Yes. So my question here now is, when in business, yes, they tell us that the young youths are lazy, not all of us. That was what I said when I was sitting there. So now we that are trying to build up a business, and you're kind of trying to do this and do that, because in my side, my dad will always tell you that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. So, and you have some employees, kind of people that you employ to help you out in one type of business, and you are doing the other one. And men looking at them, they are not doing what you want them to do. You've told them, you've educated them, you've talked to them, and they are still doing the same thing you are correcting them of. Unfortunately enough, they are your family, they are your direct blood. How do we go about this? And secondly, I want to ask this question again about finance in business. You have this idea in your head, like my friend always posts that if you have many ideas in your head without money, your ideas remain where it is. So now you have this idea in your head, you have a little token to start, and you want to make it, because without you making it bigger, you will not get what you want in terms of satisfying your customers. Because I believe satisfying your customers is more of the main thing we are doing in business or in anything we are doing in this hour, even if we are working, to satisfy who you are serving. So now you want to make this business bigger, and you've reached out to some places and they are not responding to you. Do you have to key down that idea of building it up, or what will it tell me? I'm talking about me. What will it tell me to do now? Thank you very much.
My own question is, I was into cleaning, still into cleaning, fumigation, evacuation, post-construction cleaning. But somehow, I have some money in my savings, which I have with FCMB. So the interest I was having on that saving was not good enough. I said, okay, let me use this amount, let me use it to go into farming. We have some land, I was spending a lot of money to clear that land every time. So the people working there, they say, I can be doing some farming work on the land because there's no money to put up any structure on the land. So I said, okay. So I went into maybe like plant cassava, and somehow cow came, brought all the cassavas and everything. Then along the line, I ventured into poultry. Yes, sir. I ventured into poultry. The poultry business doing very well, but is highly capital intensive. Took all my savings, everything. That's like the home is now suffering. And the cleaning business, like, it's not every day that money comes in. So somehow it's like, do I even know what I'm doing? Because every day I continue to buy feed of close to 70,000 naira a day. Feed fowl. Even at times we will not eat at home, but the fowl will eat. So the thing is seriously affecting me. And I was like, probably I didn't think very well before I ventured into this business. And somehow the fowls now, they are at point of lay. So because I continue to spend every day. Now the question is, how should I have handled that situation? Would it have been better for me to leave my money in the bank? And because somehow now it's not that the poultry is not doing well.
I get you, sir. I get you.
But the money that is taking is affecting me.
I get you, sir. You see, when you were talking to me, I was making a call. I was calling somebody who has done the same business you are doing. He happens to be my staff. The business of cassava. We planted 10 acres. I bought a land in Mowe, 10 acres. It was actually my wife that went into it, and women will start things and will not finish it. I'm now leaving for the man to clean up. I want to buy land. I say, what for? I want to buy 10 acres in Mowe. They are selling. What do you want to do with it? I don't know, but I want it. That sounds familiar. I said, okay. Then she paid half the money, then I balanced. And at the time, they were trying to take the land. Same people that sold it to us. So I went to do 4 coaches around it. I said they should plant cassava. We planted cassava. Fantastic. Did very well. Took about 30 bags of gari. So Mark, did we finish uprooting the cassava we had in Mowe?
Have some that will not uproot.
Thank you. The cost of being the gari was not more than the cost of praise the Lord. When we wake up and we say, hey, because ABC is doing this, we want to do this. We don't sit down and process. We uprooted and fried 30 bags. Ask me how many I sold. I did not say. I gave bags of gari to people. We left our feet on the ground. Because the cost of removing it, the cost of... So if your farming was not in a rural area where labor is cheap, forget it. Because this labor you get in this environment at Ogun State is not enough, not good enough to make your farming profitable. That's why I call that person, because what you are saying, I have experienced. So what I did after was to go and do 4 coaches of block and left the 10 acres there. Then you talk about poultry. This same person runs a poultry, and he runs it very well. He doesn't do layers. He does boilers. Within 90 days, in actual fact, I buy chicken from him during Christmas. 20. He does boilers. He calculates the time, I think about 2 months to the time, and he comes with, Oga, give me 1 million. I say, for what? Is it your salary? I want a loan. I will pay back in December. Say, it's called insider's lending. You are a staff. You can't borrow. You want a staff loan or a business loan? Oga, give me staff loan. He will take. And he has always paid back. So if you are going to do chicken, leave the layers. It takes 6 months for them to gestate. I know. Because this particular land I'm talking about, I wanted to use for a poultry. Then I consulted for somebody in a poultry business and discovered that it's not as easy as we make it sound. If you are not careful, the egg plus the chicken will not recoup. It's like the Okehari woman who says every day, but the bank OD is there. At the end of the day, it's only when the bank takes all his money that you now realize that you have nothing because you have used your own capital outlay to pay that. Do boilers. That, I think, is good. No matter how small the place is, I'm sure you will make money. I've never seen anybody who does boiler that made losses. But the layers is not as easy as it is. Yes, I was just trying to pick your face, maybe because of the light. At the mechanic place here, right? I'll give you the same answer I gave to you then. Yes, by my nature, I do the small thing that Prof does. One man has come to me, asked me for money. I just gave him 200,000. Go and start what you are doing. I don't know him. I come there, I sit with the mechanic. I'm watching my vehicle so nothing disappears. I think you were trying to grow your business, and you have asked me, and I said, go to my bank, Abi, that I don't do personal lending. One of the reasons I said go to my bank is the same thing you said a while ago. You don't get family involved in businesses. I know the business that you do. It's good, fantastic, but you cannot put your family there. Your family steals from you, you can't employ them. As I'm talking to you, I'm looking for a personal assistant. The pay is reasonable. Young graduates, computer knowledge, 150 a month is reasonable. But I cannot employ somebody from this church, I'm sorry. Because you don't employ somebody you cannot sack. Because if that person does not do that work well and you sack that person, if it's this lady and it's a friend to the lady and the lady at the back, will you still like me? No, because I've sacked your friend. So I try to take my business out of relationship. May I so rest in peace. I told my mother once, if you work for me, I will sack you. Yes, because If I don't make money, I will not be a good child. My mother couldn't write her name. She died and left me 2 cars. Yes, I bought them. So you need to be able to separate family from business. And the same advice is what I still give you. Structure your business no matter how small. Remove your family. Then, of course, you cannot tell a lender, this is what I have on ground. Don't tell somebody to give you money out of relationship. Okay, I know this man. They say he get money. If they give people money, give me. No, those people I give, I forget. So your own is a business. So giving you that money, I might not be able to forget. So I simply say, no, go to my bank. Does he answer your question? Thank you very much. Maybe before I leave. Oh, okay.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Doctor, I must say a very big thank you for the animative way you have presented your paper. I've watched, I've read through the paper, and one thing that I like us to